Opening night of MLB Show 22 is just right around the corner as I'm recording this video right now. We have 2 more days until MLB Show 22 is finally in our hands. So I want to make a video for you guys about what we should be doing opening night of MLB Show 22. I will say the beginning of this video will be more towards the beginners of Diamond Dynasty. There's a lot of stuff to go over for them, but we will be getting into some really cool stuff at the end as well, especially with the market tips about how we can make stubs, especially opening night. There is a huge profit we can make opening night. So make sure you guys stay to the end for that, because that will be very important. That way you guys can get the collection done super quick. Now, if you guys enjoy this video, leave a like for me. That means you guys are enjoying it and that you guys really like this content. Make sure you guys are subscribing as well. Like I said, MLB Show 22 is just right around the corner. We're going to try to have 6 videos out for you guys within the first 24-hour time span of when MLB Show 22 comes out. So there'll be plenty of content for you guys. And make sure you guys comment down below how excited you are for MLB Show 22. I'm totally ecstatic. I cannot wait. We've been playing MLB Show 21 for a very long time now. I'm so ready for a new game. So we are going to pretend that we are booting into MLB Show 22 for the first time. Again, obviously this is MLB Show 21, and this video is only going to go around Diamond Dynasty. I'm not talking about Roller Show, March, October franchise, and that stuff. It'll be strictly about Diamond Dynasty. So when you first click into Diamond Dynasty, they're going to have these little tutorials for you guys to do. You can make your jerseys, all this stuff. It just kind of gets you ready for what you're actually going to be going into in Diamond Dynasty. Now, again, this will probably be a little bit different, but they still follow the same thing usually every single year. So on our first page, at least for MLB Show 21, we have our man squad. You customize everything you do there. The standings, in which all the stuff that you've done throughout the year, and then Inside Edge and roster updates. So Inside Edge is a little thing that they do when the season is actually live and in action. Right now, there's nothing on this little page right here, but Inside Edge pretty much is showing you the matchups each day between the hitter and the pitcher. So say you have somebody going against Jacob deGrom. You guys know deGrom is one of the best pitchers in baseball, if not the best pitcher in baseball. So that means that he usually dominates against anybody that he goes against. So if you have somebody like, let's say, Cody Bellinger going against him, we know Cody has been struggling a little bit, but knowing that he does struggle and that he has not been very good, he will actually be playing down that day. So what that means is his contact, his power can all be minus that day, which actually makes him a worse player for that day. Now, they have different matchups every single day for you guys, so make sure you guys stay on the lookout for that. That's only for live series cards as well, so just keep that in mind as you're going through Diamond Dynasty and creating your squad. Now, that was the main page right there. Now, one thing I really want to talk about are these different programs. They have single player modes, online modes. We're going to try to stay away from the online mode stuff, because I don't want you guys to play online opening night. There's a bunch of sweatiness going on, and there's a big opportunity there that you guys could be missing if you're just playing online the entire night. So in MLB Show 21, we have 5 different programs that we could do. For this one, we have inning programs. Now, inning programs and Team Affinity are going to be working a little bit different in MLB Show 22. But just to go over the basis of the inning program, the inning program has these different things that you can do to get XP, to get all these different rewards across, all these different XP thresholds. So the biggest thing is you want to get a lot of XP to get all these rewards. So there's things like daily missions that you have to be able to do. There's all these missions with online. There's offline stuff you guys can be doing. And then we have conquest, which I'm going to talk about here in just a little bit as well. And then collections are a part of this usually, where you have the cards, you just collect them and you get points for it. And then there are always exchanges, which is Showdown's another thing we're going to talk about a little bit later. So that will lead us actually into Team Affinity. Now, the daily moments is just something you do every single day to get rewards. I don't know if that will be back in MLB Show 22 right now, but it was a cool thing to get some of these rewards. This is at the end of it, so you got a bunch of rewards right there. But we're going to gloss over that and go to Team Affinity. So what we know about Team Affinity this year is that it is a time-limited Team Affinity now. So how Team Affinity worked in MLB Show 21 was, we'll go back to the first one really quick. So it was based off each division. So there are certain things you had to do within online play or just offline play with extra inning modes, play versus CPU, all this stuff, to gain all these TA stars or whatever you want to call them. There's also moments, which is another thing we're going to talk about too. Conquest, again, we talked about. March, October, I'm not really going to go over. Collections and exchanges. So pretty much all you do is you get all these stars to get all these different Team Affinity packs. So if we look at the first one right here, these are all based off of the 42 packs in MLB Show 21. Now, as of right now, we don't know how the face of the franchise is going to work, but I could maybe see it being somewhat similar to this and how it will work And these are just all the cards you can obtain by doing all these Team Infinity things. Team Infinity was a really cool thing. They changed it from a lot. They've changed a lot over the years, actually. It used to be team based. Now it's divisional based. So there's a lot of different things with Team Infinity. So it's another thing we want to keep, you know, in mind too, that we want to be complete these as quick as possible, because some of these have the best rewards. So if you look at the AL East right now, if you look at the last AL East, now obviously this is towards the end of the game, so just remind that these are all 99 rewards. So there will be some really good rewards from Team Infinity, so keep that in mind as you are trying to grind out Diamond Dynasty as well. Now we also had player programs, which is another thing where you had certain players that got all these different cards. Nothing really too crazy with these. Again, I'm just a guy that likes to get all this stuff done. So if you look, obviously I have all this stuff, you know, finished and whatnot. So like somebody like Roberto Clemente had this really cool program for him. All these different things you had to do for him, and then you finally got a perfect game, Felix Hernandez and a Roberto Clemente, who was a new legend for this year. Again, just missions, showdown, all these different moments, but there are some really good things you guys can get from these player programs. So everything within MLB The Show they make super obtainable, not only for the people that are great at the game, but some people that, you know, might not be as great at the game. And then we also had these evolutions as well. Another thing in the player program, I really hope they build onto this. So technically you start out with a card that, like we saw right there, was a bronze Wade Davis. I think it was. Let's go. Yeah, it was a bronze Wade Davis. So you start that card, do some stuff with him, and then you end up actually getting a 97 Wade Davis. Now, I think they really need to add on to that. We'll probably learn a little bit more for that, but that's something, again, that, you know, I think is a really cool concept, but something they really need to work on for MLB Show 22. And then lastly, we have our monthly awards card. So each month, there's a certain card that gets a lightning card, which is the best player of that month. And then along the way, you actually get these other cards too that are really good as well. Again, this was April, so these cards aren't going to be as juiced, but kind of the people that were the top players in that month, which is a really cool concept. That was our first little Shohei right there. It was nice. But this one at the end was a 95 bucks, in which at the time of when he came out was an absolutely god tier card. I know a lot of people do really well with him and they really enjoyed that. But again, this is something that will be the month after it comes out. Just remember that as well. Again, missions, moments, collections, all the same concept. All this is the exact same for all these different programs, but just a really cool add along with these Tops Now cards, which are some of the cards that maybe, you know, didn't get the high tiered stuff as well. So just another cool add on there for you guys that you guys can do that probably won't be in the game off the rip, but just another little add-on that we have that we know about monthly rewards cards, just to kind of go over everything that we have. Now let's go over the single player modes. Now the play versus CPU is going to be a little bit different, I think, this year. I don't know how they're going to handle that, but we do have mini seasons as well, which is obviously not listed right here. We don't know much about mini seasons. It could be something on the computer, it could be something online. We really don't know anything yet, but that could be also something that we're going to be grinding day one, which is be really cool. I have a full video on that as well, have its own little video. So play for CPU don't really do that much, at least I don't. Moments is another really cool thing as well. So there are all these different moments we have within MLB The Show. Again, a lot of these are tied to the programs we've already talked about. We have daily moments, Team Infinity, monthly awards, Tops Now, Evolution. These are some welcome moments. They're always like little things that you guys can do. It's not hard at all. Like this one is tally an extra base hit for Freddie Freeman. A lot of these are simple, mindlessly, you know, grinding stuff right here, but they do have some pretty good rewards. You get a ton of stubs from it as long as you complete all these. And again, it's all these different XP that you get towards all these bigger cards. So there's a lot of good stuff to do here. This is something that, especially if you're not, you know, haven't played the game a lot or you're just new to it, I would highly recommend starting out in moments, just getting a feel for how the game feels. I know you guys can do the practice modes, you can do all that stuff too, but again, I think that moments are a really cool thing to grind. They're mindlessly, they're not hard to do. It's just something that's a little bit add-on for you guys to do against the computer. And now we have Showdown, which I think was a brand new mode in MLB The Show 20. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember off the top of my head exactly. But Showdown pretty much is, it's like a battle royale draft. You guys know what that is, but it's for offline play. So if you hop into Showdown right here, if you just start a draft, they do cost stubs. I think this one is free right here, but pretty much all you do is you just draft these different players and you do all these little moments, which you just kind of talked about with that, but within this certain game mode. And once you complete that moment, you actually get more players. Now, in this one, you want to draft pretty much always. You want to draft hitters. That's a big thing. I will have a full video about Showdown as well. Let me just get through the point to where we actually show the perks. I'm just going to draft some random people right here. Again, you get some random cards you're going to be using. And then lastly, we have another thing called perks, which are just things that add to your team, which make your team a little bit better. Again, I will have a full video on how to do all this and show you guys exactly how Showdown works. I just want to get through the kind of the concept of it, but it kind of shows you right here. So you make your team, you manage your perks. So like this one, all you have to do is win an extra inning game and just hit a walk-off right there. It's super easy. You have all these little things, a mini boss, and then you have the final boss, which then you complete that, you get a card or reward. Super easy to do, a fun thing to do, something I highly recommend starting out doing, especially in MLB Show 22. Another offline game mode that people love and hate is Conquest. So Conquest, you guys ever played the game Risk? It's kind of the similar concept of that. So let me go back down to the USA map. So the USA map is always the one that you kind of start out with. So as you guys can see right here, I'm kind of toggling with my own stronghold. Now there are 30 different strongholds for each team representing their city or wherever they are throughout the United States. And pretty much what you want to do is capture strongholds, take over the United States map, and get all the rewards and reap the benefits from it. So this is something that is, again, a mindless thing to do. The USA Conquest map takes a very long time to do. I think it took me 5 or 6 hours in total to complete all this. It takes a long time. I will have a full video out for you guys on how to complete this as quick as possible. So be on the lookout for that. But just another thing that you guys use your Diamond Dynasty team in against the computer. And it's only 3 inning games as well. So kind of just a simple concept of this. But I will have a full video out on that as well. And then lastly, we have extra innings, which I really never played at all. But pretty much what you can do is go against other people's Diamond Dynasty teams, but technically they're controlled by the computer. Now, this could, again, tie into mini seasons mode or do something with it. I don't know exactly. Maybe extra innings isn't a thing. I don't know for sure. I think it will be. But it's just another thing you guys can grind and you guys can get stats for all your missions and stuff. Again, I don't really ever play it. But if you guys want to practice your Diamond Dynasty team, you can do that as well. So this is what I told you guys we're going to try to avoid, at least for the beginner. As long as you guys have really never played this game or you guys don't want to sweat night one, we're going to try to stay away from all online play. Now, there is ranked seasons, which is the game mode where you go into with your team and you do a 9-inning game against somebody online. You know, you get some cool rewards from it. There's some good stuff. As you see, they had Mike Trout and Oral Hershiser right there as that reward. A really cool reward. Now we have Battle Royale, which Battle Royale is kind of my bread and butter. This is where you draft a team and you try to win 12 games in a row. The 3-inning games, you get some crazy rewards from it. That will be a sweat fest opening night. So I would highly recommend staying away from that. Now, events is kind of a similar concept to Battle Royale, as in you use a team that you try to win 12 games with, but you can actually choose this team from an inventory. It's kind of their way to, I think, like test different online modes and what they think they would like to do going forward the game. So these ones for the rules, there's no team restrictions. Again, this is a 3-inning game. This is on All-Star. Sometimes they do it with quick counts, which means that you just start with the count off the rip. There's just a bunch of different things they like to do in this, and I think it ultimately is to show maybe what they can do for the future for the game. Again, you get some cool rewards from it. It's some nice things to do. But again, I don't know what the exact overall first event is. I don't really remember what they did. I think it was like a Felix Hernandez. It was like an 88 or something, if I remember right. Correct me if I'm wrong again. But events it's a decent thing. It might be the best thing to start out with online and then go to Battle Royale and then ranked season, because once you get those ranked seasons on Hall of Fame and Legend, they're super tough to play. It's just going to be crazy. Play versus friends, which I think is going to kind of tie into co-op mode, which you guys know. Co-op mode is where you can play with your friends actually on the same team. Now, play with friends or play versus friends is actually where you go head to head and use different teams against each other. But play versus friends and co-op mode might be intertwined to a degree. But again, co-op mode is where you can actually be on the same team with your friend, controlling each other, which I'll have a video out on that as well, doing it with a bunch of my buddies, so I'm sure you guys will see a ton of that. And then casual mode is pretty much ranked seasons, but it doesn't go on your record. So that's another thing too. If you guys want to go ahead and try to get better at the game, or you guys want to, you know, just casually play the game, casual mode is a good preface there, just to have some fun and do some things with MLB The Show. Okay, so pretty much kind of the last little things I'm going to talk about, and probably the most important things with MLB The Show opening night, is how you can work the market and what all we can do. So you're going to have an inventory that you're going to be looking at that's going to have your players, the different equipment, the perks, sponsorships, all this different stuff that's going to tie into Diamond Dynasty. So we look, there's just all of our team that has all the different players in it, and also has flashbacks, which are actually technically going to be legends, or they can be someone like Tim Anderson last year at the Field of Dreams where he went off. They made like a cool thing about that. So that will be our inventory for MLB players. Equipment is another cool thing that they just added, that you can add a little bit flair to your Diamond Dynasty team, along with perks, which perks are actually be tied to caps or created players that make your player actually better. And then you have sponsorships, which really don't pertain to MLB This Show or Diamond Dynasty. At least it's for franchise. I'm not sure why it's in Diamond Dynasty, but it is there too. There will be all these collection as well. Opening night, we don't know what the live series collection is as of right now. This past year, Chipper Jones was, if you collected everybody on the live series, you get Chipper Jones. The NL was Alfonso Soriano, and the AL was Big Papi. There's all these different legend and flashback ones too. The Star Collection is a super easy one to do, which you guys can do opening night. Just collecting all these little different things, like collect common players, super easy to do, not hard. Want to get that done off the rip, that's an easy thing to do. And then kind of geared more towards all these different ones that will be here. Now, there could be different ones within collections. Usually they're pretty similar to what they have right now. I don't think there'll be anything too crazy compared to what we have right now. So again, just another thing you guys can be doing, especially the Star Collection, get that thing done off the rip. So before we get into the marketplace and kind of what I'm going to be doing probably opening night of MLB Show 22, there also are packs, which are a super fun thing to do. You can buy all these packs if you guys want to. Again, packs to me are kind of a waste, but you can pull some cool things. I really hope that they revamp packs in MLB Show 22. They've kind of been pretty stale in my opinion, but again, they're just kind of a fun thing to do. It's a game of chance. Hopefully you can pull a diamond, that's what you want, and then, you know, kind of go from there. So packs are a really cool thing that they added in the game. The biggest thing we're going to talk about here is the marketplace, and where I think a lot of you guys should be spending a good amount of time within MLB Show 22 opening night, and probably the first week or two, especially if you guys want to get that live series collection done pretty quick. I will have a full video on this, so this will not be a full video on what I do usually, but I'm going to give you guys a little taste of what you guys can expect in MLB Show, especially on opening night. So opening night of MLB Show 22, there are not a ton of cards on the market like we have right now. There's over, I don't know, all these different pages. We have a ton of live series stuff, and there will probably be, you know, stuff from packs. There'll be battle royale, ranked season rewards, and all that stuff. But the biggest thing that I learned on opening night of MLB Show is we're gonna be looking at flipping gold. So gold cards. So gold cards are within 80 to 84 overall. I found out that these guys have the best profit margin, especially on opening night. Right now, if you guys look at it, the margins are not very good. So obviously this game's been out for a long time. These cards just aren't selling like they used to. So live series cards opening night, you can make 5 to 10K a flip on these cards, because everybody's trying to buy these cards to get the live series collection done. That way they can pretty much have the best player in the game or at that time to have. So what we're going to do is if we have Adam Duvall right here. Now, right now his price is 1,855. So if we go to buy sell options and we create a buy order for, let's do 1,000, because that's actually the quick sell value of what this card is going to be. Again, this will be a lot different opening night, but just kind of give you the basis of this. We'll put in an order form. So what that means is somebody can instantly sell me that card for 1,000 subs. I can go ahead, once I get that card, go back into here, go to create a sell order, and go and flip it for 1,850. So right there, you make about a 665 profit on stubs, because they do take a 10% tax. So just remember that as well as you're going through it. But again, I mean, that's an easy flip right there. Those margins will be so big on opening night, which I think you guys should stay, you know, locked in on and make sure you guys are on that, because that's a big way to make a lot of stubs. One really big killer thing last year too were perks. Now these margins were insane for a very long time, until I think someone made a video about it and they kind of ruined the market for it. These gold margins at launch were something like this, where I think you can actually let me see what the buy order you can put in for them. Yeah, so you can buy these for 100 at the lowest and flip it for 5K. So there was a huge margin on opening night. You guys, like I was talking about on the live series, you know, it's about 5 to 10K. These, I think, were about 10 to 20K. And people were flipping these things like pancakes. So, you know, just be wary of all the different things, all the different, you know, market trends we can be looking at for all these different equipment, perks. So kind of just be conscious of what all these different MLB players, equipment, perks, and all this stuff can be on the market trends, because you can make a ton of subs. I know a lot of people just flip, and that's just how they make all their subs, and they get stuff done on their way. So that way they don't have to actually put any money into the game. So just be wary of, you know, making sure that you're taking a look at this, because I think a lot of you guys, especially when MLB Show 22 drops, it's really tough because there's so much stuff to do. Everybody's trying to do stuff, but I think the most important thing is to try to work that market. The marketplace is your friend. Also, they have an app on your phone you guys can use too, so keep that in mind as you guys are doing this as well. So all in all, that's kind of my basis on what we're gonna be looking at for MLB Show 22. Kind of give you guys just a little taste of what it's gonna be like when you guys get there on opening night, and what kind of you guys should be doing. So the biggest thing I think on opening night is to get familiar with the game. Look at all the different game modes, conquest, showdown. Do all those little offline grinds off the rip, because usually the servers are not the best either, and playing online is just going to be a sweat fest. I promise you guys want to stay away from that unless you guys are more towards the top end player. That way you guys can get your W's, get your rank season wins, whatever you guys want to do. But again, I think the biggest thing with opening night is the marketplace and how you guys can make a ton of stubs. Again, I'll make videos on all this stuff all separately as well for you guys, so we go more into depth on that, just to show you guys, you know, every different game mode, what you guys can do in the market, you know, etc. All this different stuff you guys have been doing with MLB Show 22. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it gives you guys a little bit of insight on what you guys can, you know, look into for MLB Show 22. I love making these types of videos for you guys. So we'll have a ton of informational stuff, again, like I've already been talking about, hitting, pitching tips, all these market trends, all that stuff for you guys. So make sure you guys are ready for it. But until then, I will see you guys next time. Peace.